anything to do with that?
Partially, but again, to blame the evil U.S. intervention for every single problem is at its core intellectually sloppy.
I don't think so, because the United States has 2 times the military of the rest of the world. It has been in our DNA to intervene in a military way in other countries. So to say, I mean, I know you believe in...
So I want to try to square this all together. I got to get another question, just to make sure I'm clear. So you're mad at America for getting involved in other people's countries, right? So America's bad for that. But then you want everyone to come to America. I thought America's bad.
I'm saying that the United States needs to be held accountable. You can't meddle in
So we're held
countries.
accountable by inviting the entire world here?
If you are going to mess up that country, you have to do something about it.
Oh, do something. Invite them here.
Maybe if you're the reason that they have to leave. No?
All right. Then that at its core, I'm glad you articulated it, is neoconservatism, which is invade the world, invite the world.
What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are feeling good. Today, guys, we're back here into a new video. Today, we're going to be checking out the immigration truths the left refuse to face. This is by Charlie Cock, according to Charlie Kick, because he loves kicking us. Let's get right into today's video, guys.
I think that the anti-immigration rhetoric you have is not new. I think that you try to paint a picture of it being this current phenomenon that we're facing, but there's been rhetoric from your side for a long time, throughout the entirety of history. I mean, if we look at the immigration policies in the U.S., even though Chinese immigrants built the entire Western Railroad, there was still the Chinese Exclusion Act, because they were providing insane value to the United States, but we still had these exclusion acts because of xenophobic attitudes. And so this is not a novel idea that immigrants are bad for the country. So I'm interested in why you think that all of a sudden we need to change the way the United States works.
Well, first of all, immigration has gone in great influxes. We basically turned off all immigration in the 1940s and 50s. We had like net zero immigration for almost 15 years. Most people don't even know that. So we had Ellis Island in the early 1900s, and then we turned on the guzzle of immigration. But let's be honest, for 40 years, we have tried this mass immigration project for the last 40 years. Has it worked? Are we a more connected country? Have middle-class wages kept up? Look at the material data. Has immigration enriched the well-being of the United States of America, especially the last 5 or 6 years? I would say, of course not, actually. We're more divided, we're more factious, and we see this in almost every European country as well. When you import a bunch of people that don't speak your language, that are from the third world, all of a sudden you have mass destabilization happening in your country.
True.
It's not a matter of being xenophobic. Instead, it's a matter of being patriotic to your own country and your own citizens. It's not about hating the foreigner, it's about loving the citizen. And your obligation is always to citizens first, not foreigners.
100%.
Okay. So you don't think that the MAGA movement has led to xenophobic attitudes at all?
I don't even know how to answer that. I mean, like...
Why not?
Well, because you have to first define what you mean by xenophobic attitudes.
I mean, just like you said, I mean, we're living in a divided world. You don't think that comes from people being anti-immigration?
No, I think it's the opposite. I think when you allow a bunch of people that aren't native-born Americans too quickly, with no checks, no background, no idea who they are, and flood them into your towns, definitionally, diversity is not a strength when it comes to local community ties.
If you don't use it. If you don't use it, I don't know that you're committed to finding its strength.
Hold on, no, explain this to me. This is a good question.
Yeah.
What country has ever grown stronger the more divided it's been?
None, but I'm not saying that we have to get more divided.
No, but diversity definitionally will divide you. Unity unifies you. You notice they never say unity is our strength, they say diversity is our strength? In fact, just so we are clear, there is nothing racist or xenophobic to say that you want your kids to be around people that speak English. There's nothing racist to say that. It actually means that you want to be able to communicate with your neighbor. There's nothing racist and xenophobic to say, for example, we don't want to import people from a far-off distant land that don't share Western values, that don't treat women the same, that don't have the same respect for freedom of speech. So what we see is the unraveling of the United States of America, because a country is again, just like undoubtedly, it is the people that inhabit it. So you have to be very careful what people you allow into your country.
Sure, but I think that what you're talking about, this like mass shift in American culture, is like not happening. I think you're fear-mongering. And also, I think that the United States forever has been a mix of culture. I don't really know like where you can point to a time in the U.S. history that hasn't included immigrants in its culture.
Again, from the 20s to the 1920s and 1960s, we had very little immigration in this country, nearly 40 years. In fact, that is what largely led to us becoming a world superpower in the 1950s. Is we felt
we had the Bracero program back then, where we brought in tons of laborers from Mexico to the United States to work in agricultural, and that's how we fed the United States. So I really
again,
don't think that you can say that.
It was very limited in scope versus what we see today. But again, I will ask a more moral question. Does a politician have first loyalty to its own citizens or to another country's citizens?
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought this, because I wanted to circle back to my original question about the United States creating instability in the rest of the world. I do think that every single politician, like let's say I'm the Prime Minister of South Africa, you know,
Which is an incredibly anti-white country. Like, oh my goodness.
Okay, anyway.
Dangerously anti-white.
Okay, anyway.
Do you know about that, by the way? You should.
Apartheid, yes.
Oh, no. It's like they're killing white people in the streets in South Africa. They're stealing farmland. I mean, if you don't know about that, that shows how the media is lying to all of you. It is literally a mini white genocide happening in South Africa right now.
But I don't think that we should...
No, it's fine. You brought up South Africa, not me, but yes.
That was just an example. Anyway, let's stay on topic. So let's say I'm the Prime Minister of a country. I do agree with you that my first job is that country, for sure. That's who I'm leading. But considering the United States has created mass violence, instability, and poverty around the world, you don't think that we have some sort of obligation to the people who then have to flee from that?
No.
Why not?
Wait, hold on. Well, why not? Define your terms. Where have we created mass stability? I'll grant you Iraq. That was a disaster. Where else?
In all of Latin America, in different countries in Africa, places that, like the Philippines that we colonized, Puerto Rico. Yeah,
I mean, of course, I'm always so interested in this, as if it's like, you can never blame those countries for not having their act together. It's somehow America's fault.
Every time.
It's America's fault that Nicaragua can't get its act together. It's America's fault, even though we welcome Puerto Rico to become U.S. citizens, like we've colonized them. So here's the paradox.
You don't think that Puerto Rico was colonized?
No. I'm saying no. So if we don't help Puerto Rico, we're evil. When they become a territory, we colonize them, and we haven't done enough. It's like, which one is it exactly?
So the Puerto Rico was taken from the Spanish as a colony and used as a sugar farm for years, where the workers were paid less than $1 per day to create sugar for the United States. And it's not really about statehood or independence. It's about letting Puerto Rico decide that for themselves. And anyway, this isn't about Puerto Rico.
No, it's fine. But and more broadly, and I'll get to the couple final questions here. I can sense that your problem is that, like, America's super successful and these other countries aren't. And foundationally, it's rooted in envy, bitterness, and resentment, because we are the world's superpower. It's not because we've held anybody back. It's because we've had incredible people, really good ideas.
You don't think the U.S. has intervened in a negative way in other countries?
At times, yes. At times, we've intervened very favorably. Can you at least acknowledge at times that...
Sure, there has been aid, but there's also been terrible coups.
Not just aid. South Korea exists because of American involvement.
True.
Kuwait exists because of American involvement.
But it's not...
So...
But to look at American accountability, you have to look at the whole of that accountability. And to say that certain countries are less developed purely on their own fault is to ignore history.
So that's where we disagree.
Okay.
Countries have to take responsibility for their own future, which, again, this is one of the reasons why so many people hate Israel. Every other country around there is like a third world country, and Israel is super successful and super agenic, and they're able to be like one of the wealthiest countries on the planet. You gotta wonder, what is it that they're doing? Oh, it's the Jews because they're stealing all this money. No, actually, they like work super hard, and they don't believe in Islam, and and like, wow. And the one place
Have you ever been to those countries?
Yeah, actually, I have been to Israel, and I've been to the Palestinian Authority. I've been to the West Bank. I've actually visited it. Even if I hadn't, that doesn't mean what I'm saying is wrong, just for the record. By the way, I encourage you to try to go to Lebanon or Syria. Not exactly the Four Seasons, right? So,
and
not great.
You don't think that U.S. intervention has anything to do with that?
Partially, but again, to blame the evil U.S. intervention for every single problem is, at its core, intellectually sloppy.
I don't think so, because the United States has 2 times the military of the rest of the world, and it has been in our DNA to intervene in a military way in other countries. So to say, I mean, I know you believe
I want to try to square this all together. I got to get to another question, just to make sure I'm clear. So you're mad at America for getting involved in other people's countries, right? So America's bad for that. But then you want everyone to come to America. I thought America's bad.
I'm saying that the United States needs to be held accountable. You can't meddle in
So we're
other
held
countries.
accountable by inviting the entire world here?
If you are going to mess up that country, you have to do something about it.
Oh, do something. Invite them here.
Maybe if you're the reason that they have to leave. No?
All right, then that at its core, I'm glad you articulated it, is neoconservatism, which is invade the world, invite the world. Which is that you don't support the invasion part of it, but somehow we have to invite the world as some sort of like mass penance.
But that's like you invade and then say, oh,
well, no,
well,
I don't support the invasions. I think you are overly ascribing fault to the United States of America, when in reality it's these own broken countries that cannot get their own act together. A great example is this, and I'll close with this. El Salvador is actually safer than America. It has billions of dollars flowing into El Salvador. Why? Because they elected Bukele, who decided to go after MS-13 and clean up the streets of El Salvador.
True.
Which, again, it was because they decided to do good things with massive action. Countries can be wealthy. Singapore is wealthy. You could be a very wealthy country if you embrace Western market ideas, private property with low crime, and it's not always...
I mean, in the case of El Salvador, the United States was the reason that the country broke down into gang warfare, and now if you look at the way they were able to turn around, they had to declare a state of emergency just to be able to turn things around.
It's just like, this is where we're different, and then I'll close, then we have to get going. I look at America as a force for good. You look at everything wrong and you say it must be America.
No, sir, I'm looking at bad things that they have done and calling for accountability.
Okay, like
I mean, maybe we disagree, I don't know.
I guess I think we're a wonderful country, and I think if a country is poor, they're poor by choice, and they have to be able to get their act together, make better decisions, and stop acting like victims all the time. Thank you very much.
Let's talk about the border. We have brought in 5% of the population of Haiti.
I don't see the issue with that, though. Like,
You don't see the issue with
allowing immigrants into our country. I mean, is that not the foundation of our country?
These are illegal immigrants that
people
cut in
seeking
line.
refuge for the best country in the world. Isn't that the whole point of your organization?
Well,
the U.S. is the best country in the world. Shouldn't we be obligated to help people that are suffering?
Yes, America is the best country. Therefore, its citizens should come first, not foreigners.
So
we have an obligation to our own people.
Yeah, so the pathway to citizenship should become easier. Then.
No, we should deport them all back to their homeland.
We should deport them all back to their
homeland. All back to their homeland.
All the immigrants, okay.
Well,
we should
all
make
the
it easier
illegal
for
foreigners, yes.
Okay.
In Springfield, Ohio, in one town, English as a second language speakers in one high school went from 250 to 1,500 kids in 2 years. These communities are being overrun. Go down to Aurora, Colorado, right down the street here. Entire apartment complexes are now being run by Venezuelan gangs. Not to mention every day an American citizen is being killed. From Laken Riley to Rachel Morin to 11-year-olds that are being killed in DUI accidents. We have a belief that our founding fathers had, which is if your government does not fulfill its obligation to its own people first, its government is not legitimate. And that's what's happening right now. Our government is now providing taxpayer-funded cell phones, hotel rooms, benefits, airplane rides, cash for foreigners, but not for Americans. If you guys as an American citizen want a free cell phone, they'll laugh at you. As a foreigner from Venezuelan, you get one on the southern border. You get a flight to any city that you want. You get a luxury hotel in New York City. You get taxpayer-funded health care. That is the inversion. That is elevating somebody from a distant land over our own people. When our own kids can't afford homes, when our own people are seeing an increase in crime, homelessness, and we have over 50,000 homeless vets in this country. It's a breakdown of the social contract.
Wait, so the government should support veterans, support
Yes.
citizens more. We should do, so we should spend more on our people with better health care, better social programs. That's literally what you just said.
We should spend it on veterans and not on foreigners.
Sure, and American citizens with cheaper health care. That's what you just said.
Well, hold on. You're
free
trying
phones, airplane rides, public transit. That sounds great for Americans.
No, it sounds terrible, actually.
For Americans?
Yes, government should not be giving free phones to anybody, okay?
You said that the citizens should come first in those programs.
Yes, you know how they should come first? By not having to compete against a foreigner for your job.
But I don't think that's the case, though, when most,
How about this? If your own perspective was correct, would you feel comfortable going in Uber right now to Aurora, Colorado, and going to those 3 apartment complexes?
I mean, according to the Aurora police, I probably would. They say the apartment complexes are not overrun.
You should get in the car and go, go talk to anybody here and go knock on the door, and they'll extort you for cash because we're a country that is open for looting right now. for the entire world. Over 118 countries have entered the southern border. That we know of, at least 99 people on the terrorist watch list have come across the southern border. We're talking about people from Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, from Iran, people from Pakistan that are coming here and mean harm to the interior of the United States. Not to mention, we're breaking down what it means to be a citizen. A citizen should be put first above anybody else.
True.
If a government does not do that, then the government is not fulfilling its basic obligation. And the number one obligation is to make sure that its people can have a pathway to a better life and a good life. Not a variety of free stuff, but not have to compete with somebody from Brazil for a home. Not have to, no, but not sure. The way that we're not doing that is that we're importing the third world and we're quickly becoming the third world.
So why don't we use our resources to improve the third world so they're not coming here rather than
because
just spending
that's
the same
not the
amount of
role
money?
of the American government. You think we should be concerned about Central American politics? I don't care.
Yeah.
I care about our own people.
So then you
Secure
don't
the border
care about
and-
those people that are
Hold
sex
on.
trafficking
You know why?
children.
Hold on. Of course I care about it.
You say you don't want to spend the money to make that change happen.
Number one, we've spent trillions, hundreds of billions of dollars. It doesn't do any good. Number
That's
two,
not true.
Number two, it is not the role of the American government to solve the problems of Panama, El Salvador, and Honduras when our own citizens are suffering and are crying out for help.
So why has the billions of dollars spent on Central American aid over the last 4 years
We shouldn't
been
have
effective
spent-
at slowing the
hasn't-
rates of sex trafficking in Central America?
It hasn't slowed anything.
No, it's been effective.
It hasn't affected anything.
It
What you're
literally
talking about
has.
is bribing these governments where they then go give it to cartel leaders and say, hey, this month send 20,000 people instead of 40,000
That's
people.
not what that money's going towards. It's
Yeah.
going towards NGOs and
No,
bottom-up
if-
stabilization.
You think NGOs
No.
spend the money correctly?
Okay, not
Man,
all
you are
NGOs,
so
obviously,
naive.
sure.
By the way, more people are crossing the Darien Gap than ever before. Not to mention, they're coming across on the CBP One app across the border into the interior of the United States in every single state. You cannot continue to have a country if you import an unfamiliar third world this quickly into America.
True.
So
Now
there
you'll
should
say-
be a path to
no,
immigration.
No, we should have no
and-
immigrants in this country right now.
No immigrants in the
None.
country.
We need a total, complete shutdown of immigration in this country until every single Gen Z person can afford a home and can get their act together and be able to afford the
So
American dream.
what's your path to Gen Z getting homes? Is it just kicking all
Well,
brown people out?
Not brown people. I think
Okay,
we should.
immigrants, yeah.
We should. Anyone that's here illegally should be deported back to their country of homeland. By the way, it's a moral
So
position.
H-1B visas that like generate and
We should-
stimulate
we should-
the
we should-
economy, kick those out.
Well, that's interesting. H-1B. Who here studying computer? Anything? Anybody? Computer engineering? You guys have to compete against a foreigner for a job. That's wrong.
Yeah.
American. Well, I actually care about the country more than the free market.
So colleges should better prepare students and better utilize government
yes.
resources.
Well, college is a scam, but yes, we did that earlier.
For
But-
computer science, they shouldn't go to college.
Well, actually, you don't need to go to college for computer science.
You don't need to go to college for computer science?
You could do a coding
For-
class in a couple months.
You could
and
do a
get
coding
job.
class.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alphabet is hiring right now.
You could get a
Alphabet?
job at Alphabet, Google,
Yes.
for taking a C++ class?
Correct. Yes.
Yes.
They're hiring coders after a 60-day
Okay.
coding class. To answer your question, a country that ceases to secure its own sovereignty and does not think I care more about my own people than the foreigners ceases to be a country. You're a colony and you're something else. And we are seeing our generosity be taken advantage of. I am all for American charities going down to Panama and helping out. I'm all for people giving to charity.
So we should reallocate U.S. spending towards things that are actually effective for people in and outside of our borders.
Well,
So then we don't have people
yes.
coming into our borders and then we can help our people.
Well, no, the way, again, if they come to the border and the border is closed and you say, hasta la
Or
vista,
they
go
just-
back to Nicaragua.
Or we spend in Central America, they don't have to come to the U.S.,
No,
and then we have a better
so
U.S.
th-
It's the
that-
same amount of spending.
No, first of all, to solve the problems of the third world would cost trillions of dollars, and that would all be laundered and not even work. And again, it's not the position of the American government to go throw money around in the Southern Triangle. Instead, it's our country's closed. We're not open for looting anymore. Go make Nicaragua great again, or go do what El Salvador has done. El Salvador is now a safe and stable country, and they're seeing their GDP go up, and it's not because of us.
Yeah, it is. We put $4 billion into South
Hold
Central
on.
America.
Hold on, and Bukele barely took the money. You know why it's safe? Bukele has turned El Salvador safe because he locked up all the criminals. He locked up 40,000 criminals and put them in prisons, and El Salvador is now safer than America. El Salvador was the murder capital of the world, and now El Salvador is much safer than America. I think it's wrong if you guys are afraid to walk the streets of Denver at night. I wouldn't walk the streets of Denver at night. Would you guys? No! That's a breakdown of the fundamental role of government. Would you guys walk the streets of LA at night? No. the streets of San Francisco? No. We can't walk our own greatest cities at night, and we want to bring in more people from the third world? Hell no.
There's a reason that a lot of the black community doesn't have a father, and it's because of systemic racism. It's because like black men are more likely to be in prison.
Oh yeah, so why do people go to prison?
For like a lot of the time it's because they're in poverty and they have no other way.
In poverty, we should give excuses for committing crime?
Yes, like if someone is stealing something because they have no money and there's no jobs.
That's so interesting. So you think most crimes are crimes of necessity in the black community?
I'm not saying most.
Something happened to black America since 1965.
You mean the war on drugs?
If that's your contention, that's fine. So in order to go to jail for the war on drugs, you have to be dealing drugs, right? Or you have to be caught with drugs. So if you don't
which is one of like the main jobs that you can have in a like poverty-stricken. Like if there's no jobs, like you're going to do drugs. I mean, you're going to trade drugs because that's the only option you have.
It's such a difference in worldview. I don't like making excuses for people that do things that are obviously destructive. Secondly, we have a problem in black America. The biggest problem is not racism. It's the lack of dads. If dads are around, kids flourish.
Systemic racism creates family problems. If you take away black people from their families, then they're going to have broken families.
Okay, but that's interesting. How are you taking them away? Aren't they leaving? If you stay single as a single mother, you get money from the federal government, and it's basically subsidized, if you will.
Sure.
Can we at least agree that if the nuclear family in black America was stronger and tighter knit, that would be a good thing?
In a lot of cases, yeah.
This was very interesting to watch. I love the entire video. From the first guy who came out, like, if you don't love or if you don't like America, leave. It's as simple as that. If you feel like you are not in support of America's decisions and what they are doing, leave. Go to another different country where you feel like their system is working for you. Because I see a lot of people coming out and saying bullshit about America every single time. If you don't love America for where America is right now, leave. You are free to leave. You are not in prison. You are free to leave. The other lady who was making excuses, like saying differences about America, like because America is one creating war in the country, then America should invite them in. That makes absolutely no sense. You understand? So it's terrible for her to say that. If America is to help or support a war that is happening and everything goes well, everybody will keep quiet. But when it goes bad, America is to be blamed. It's not every time America wants to contribute or support that everything is going to go well. But if it does not go according to plan, everyone points fingers at America every single time. So because it did not go as planned, means America should allow every single person to America. No. Do you want America to be a shithole? Like, different things will be happening. Currently, like, if you see what's happening in America, a lot of illegal immigrants that were actually in America created a lot of havoc during Joe Biden era. And what Donald Trump is doing now to clean the country, make it more safer, is a very beautiful agenda he's putting in place. So when you say America should open that border to everyone, it's terrible because you yourself as a citizen, you will not want to stay in America. The vision of America is put American citizens first before any other immigrants, before any other person. You understand? That's how it ought to be. Any country will do the same thing America is doing right now. You put your country, you put your citizens first. In everything you do, your citizens come first because they are the rights for people there. So you always put them first. So irrespective of how people are saying, open the border, allow people in. That is how America is. America is a country that accepts everyone. No, it shouldn't be like that. It should be according to the regulation. If you do not meet the standard, you should not come into America. And currently, America is passing through a lot of different issues. There are some states that are not safe in America. America have to make their own house clean and safe before allowing foreigners or foreigners around the world who want to come in. Comment down below what you think about this. Sure. Comment down below what you think about this video. Give us a thumbs up. Share this video as many as you can. Subscribe to our channel, guys. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you stay safe.